We talked about the importance of kind of when you look ahead, it's easy to be like, wow, it's just the beginning of the season, but there are only 10 regular season matches. So having 3 of those, all wrapped up at this point, Chicago Untouchables, they really did need that win with Pythons dropping down 0-3. So that would have been an ideal win, but they're still sitting ahead at 1-2 over Python. So right now, season ended, then, Chicago's going to get that playoff berth. So exciting to see how that's all going to unfold on that side.
And it just makes it that much more important. Every single match is important. There's no walkover matches.
Right.
Every match has impact on the season, the rankings, the conference standings, getting ready for the postseason. Every game of every match is just that important.
Yeah, absolutely. And now, we're getting a little bit of just getting a little visit from the director here, but, that's okay. We're getting into this Philadelphia Founders match, and one of the things that we talked about that Founders felt like they were lacking a little bit from event number 1 was the ability to terminate the ball. And we're going to see, they had DJ Fangata on the right side that first event, but they're going to be bringing in Piotr Namiotko here. Piotr's been with the league for a while. Back in 2020, played with the Tennessee Tyrants prior to them becoming the Texas Tyrants last year, part of the Chicago Untouchables. So he's a guy we've seen around here for a while, NJIT product. And additionally, we're going to see Langston Payne playing in the middle. Unfortunately, a little jersey mishap here today, so not going to have what he needs to play, but he'll be playing on their second match. So I just talked to Andrew Lee, owner of the team, got a little fill in on that one. But you gotta play the hand that's dealt to you.
Sometimes that happens. Those technical issues pop up and opens the opportunity up for another player to step into that role and hopefully fill it. And, everyone will learn a lesson from that as well. Yeah,
the 2 names I do really want to highlight on this team, though. Nate Reynolds in the middle, product of Springfield, D3 middle. He absolutely put the league on notice with his performance in event number 1. And second is Brian Lee, the libero. This guy came out of nowhere. He's been around since the PVL back in 2014. He's a well-known name in kind of adult USA and men's nationals circles. But seeing him just kind of reemerge, not participating in the NVA for the last 6 seasons, he really showed up and showed out against the Stingers and Wild in event number 1. So look for him as well in that off-colored jersey. Now, quick look on the other side. Texas Tyrants, notably Gianluca Grasso, has returned from Israel, where he just won the Israeli League. However, not going to be playing. TBD if he's actually going to play much at all this season. Just pretty burned out, just had a very, very intense season. And now that he owns the team, so a lot of work there.
Those professional seasons in Europe, they're very taxing on the body. There's a high demand, high workload, a lot of matches, a lot of jumps. And when you add it up over the season, you shut it down for a good period of time. And, this weekend, do they need him? Probably not. Maybe if he plays in a match or 2 prior to the finals, will he play in the finals if they were to be there? I would expect to see him on the court, when it was really a lot on the line.
Yeah, and we'll see, because I feel the same. I asked him, and he said, we'll see. I want the guys to have synergy, and if I'm just in or out, because he's going to miss event 3 with some personal matters. So he said, then what? I play event 4 and 5, mess up the synchronicity of the team, and he just believes in Austin Matautia in that 2 role. And
that's great. I believe it, but I also don't
believe it when you see it.
Don't believe that he won't play at some point in this season.
Yeah, so we'll see how that all goes. That's going to be good to keep track of. But first, we're going to throw it over to the sideline with Noah Chass. Noah, take it away.
Thank you, Nick. I'll join you on the Texas Tyrant conversation. Gianluca Grasso, as you said, he tells me he does not plan to play. Well, he said that for this match, but this morning at breakfast he said, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So we'll see what his playing schedule looks like. And in terms of this Philadelphia Founders team, he told me, he's watched the tape a little bit, but mostly there is no extraordinary game plan. He likes what he's seen from this Tyrant team with Ryan Mather, and the plan is to go with the flow and stick with what's working, which early has been everything for Texas.
It definitely has. And a quick look across here, we're going to be seeing, if I'm not mistaken, Tanner Maxwell. So they've got Chris Hall, just fresh off of his first season over in Denmark. He's a USC product. Yeah. And then they still have Tanner Maxwell from GCU. So those guys are both going to split a match this weekend. Ryan Mather's going to be reprising his role on the right side. In the middle, we're seeing Antoine Aguillard, now part of the 3-way package that has left the Ramblers of Mather, Aguillard, and Maxwell. So we'll see Aguillard in the middle, as well as Vacan Lewis and Skylar Marushigi. So they've got a little combination there, and Anthony Robinson, also one of the most perennially known Texas Tyrants players, will be in the mix as well today.
Let's not forget the former NVA All-Star libero from Puerto Rico, Jose Mulero, and his colorful shoes. Always fun to watch in the opposite colored jersey for the Tyrants. So that'll be nice to see him getting some good work done again today. Yeah,
so these guys, you know, I think they are. We also left out Jake Langlois, is one of the most notable names. Yeah.
Who?
Huh?
Jake
Lang Lewis, I think is what they might say. All jokes aside, one of the most powerful outsides the league's ever seen. Does absolutely an offensive threat. And so this team really is kind of the complete kit. They did an overhaul in the offseason. The only real returners, Jake Langlois, Grasso, Robinson, and Mulero. Everyone else is pretty brand new, but to see what they got done as a result, and what's even crazier is it was all at the hands of Gianluca Grasso while he was around the world, but still his network came through for him. Did a lot of scouting.
No surprise to see a few USC Trojans on the roster now.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to go find your guys. So they've got a nice squad here for the weekend, so this will be a fun matchup, but I think the pressure is definitely on the Founders to see if they're able to generate some of those points that they were not quite finding in event number 1.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a tall task for them to take the Tyrants on and, be able to pull off a win. I'm not saying it's not possible, because it is. Anything's possible in the NVA, but, this Tyrants team is stacked.
Yes.
And, it's an important match for the Founders to show that they've got some character, some talent, and that it means something to them too.
Yeah, and I think that the biggest thing that's going to work against the Tyrants is that they're one of the only teams that still they're not able to train together anymore. A bunch of these guys are kind of being imported from, Vegas, Philly. You got Jake Langlois out in Utah. They have some guys in Texas. So they're just so spread out. And then also several guys just getting back from international contracts. So we saw at event number 1, they go for highlight reel plays. And then sometimes it's just a little bit disjointed because of a lack of experience playing together. Mulero coming from Puerto Rico. So they are covering the entire continental and non-continental U.S. So that's kind of one of those things that they're top of mind trying to solve. But I don't think it's going to be too big of an issue here.
I don't think so either. They're stacked in every position. They're very deep. NVA All-Stars all through the roster, obviously. Ryan Mather looks like he's in the best shape of his career.
Yep.
That's such a huge compliment, in terms of personnel when you have Jake Langlois next to you. Antoine Aguilar was a great middle blocker at Long Beach State. Lewin was another good middle blocker at USC. And, they have a lot of talent on that team. They're very dangerous.
So it's exciting to see, and, we got all eyes on the Founders to see, like I said, what can they get done? We saw Ryan Schickling reprising his role, another part of the Ramblers exodus. If you haven't seen the Ramblers yet, that team basically won a gold and then scattered to the wind across the entirety of the NVA. So a very new team reprising that black and gold over there that you'll see tonight as they play against a bunch of former Ramblers, myself, Joel Auerkamp, Josh Duarte, and many more to join later on. So that'll be an exciting one.
Not that you're getting ahead of yourself. Don't get ahead of yourself.
I didn't make any statements about the outcome.
You did actually earlier.
Well, pregame show, you gotta make some calls. So we'll see how that one goes. But all the teams here lining up now, so you won't have to listen to us talk too much longer. But Matt, remind everyone at home, what was your take on this match? How is this one going to go?
Well, I think my take on this match was very similar to everyone else's take on this match, in that this would be a victory for the Texas Tyrants.
Yeah, I think that they've got the upper hand here. I don't know that I feel so good about a 3-0. But before we get into it, we've got Noah Chass. Take it away.
Thank you, Nick. Just want to talk about these Philadelphia Founders very quickly. They are going to change up a couple things in the first event. They do have Peter Namioko going on the right side right now, and their middle attack was really efficient in the first event, but the pin hitting was not. So they're planning to slow down the tempo, maybe just put that ball a little higher in the air and let those hitters make some plays. And in terms of this being their second NVA event, their coach tells me they're going to be a little bit more confident and a little bit more calm, but they will absolutely have their hands full with this Texas Tyrant team. But expect those changes. Guys?
Great to hear a little bit more insight about what's expected on the court. I expect to see the majority of that team is going to be pretty set, but we do see Jordan Robinson returning now. Jordan Robinson's played for a variety of teams from New Jersey Freedom, Chicago Untouchables, so he's one of those guys that's been, again, another perennial NVA name. I'll be curious to see how they handle having the two liberos on the court, but exciting to see both of them all of the same. We're seeing on the side of the Texas Tyrants, Ryan Mather on the right, Vekas Lewin in the middle, opposite of Antoine Aguillard. Jake Langlois in the 1, Austin Matautia in the 2. Tanner Maxwell will be taking hands here, and Jose Malero playing in the black jersey as libero. On the side of the Philadelphia Founders, we're going to be seeing Ron Dunn as the setter, Piotr Namioko on the left. On the outsides, number 44, Jeff Nelson. And in the 2, it's going to be Mike Lewis. In the middle, we see Ryan, I'm getting lost. Sorry, Nate Reynolds. And then also Sean Dillon. And in the libero jersey, it looks like Lee is heading onto the court. Brian Lee, small in stature, big in play style. See if he's able to help slow down the onslaught of these Texas Tyrants.
Looks like Ryan Schickling, Schickling family, another kid that I coached back in high school.
Yep.
Ryan Schickling is going with the coach's uniform today. I don't see him wearing a player jersey.
I was curious if he was injured or?
I don't know. I mean, they have numbers on their bench, so it looks as if he's maybe saving the jersey for another day.
A rainy day, yeah. All right, about to get underway here. This is set number 1. We're coming to you from Long Beach City College out in sunny Southern California. Ron Dunn of the Philadelphia Founders will be starting us off with the first serve. First serve goes long for Dunn.
I'm always curious to see how the first servers go, what rotations the coaches put them in, and what the first serve looks like.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those decisions you got to figure out what's going to work best for you and what matches you up well against the other teams. Piotr throws an out-of-system tip over the top, but Ryan Mather wastes no time, unloads down the line.
I think we're going to see a lot of that today. Ryan Mather on the right side, one of the most terminal opposite hitters. We touched on it this morning on the pregame show about how opposite dominant this league is at the moment, and Ryan Mather is really leading the charge.
Back to Nelson, and Nelson gets the better part of Aguillard and Langlois.
And just an update on another Ryan Schickling. He is out with an ankle injury, an off-the-court ankle situation. So he says it's a bit of a contusion, no sprain or no break, but too much discomfort to play in right now.
Well, next man up. Ryan Schickling was one of the guys helping make this team work off the bench last event, earned a starting spot mid-event. But so, you know, his ball control might be sorely missed, but that'll give them some larger options between Nelson and Michael Lewis. Nelson here to serve at 2s. Ryan Mather doesn't have to do anything other than completely vacate the area and make sure he doesn't get hit by that one before it goes out. Tanner Maxwell to serve, GCU veteran, 3-year Las Vegas Rambler, got a 3rd place, 2nd place, and a 1st place with the team last year. Easy ball laid up and goes off the hands. Well, Noah talked a little bit about the importance of slowing that tempo down and making sure they have the connection they want. So far, the outside's producing very well. Dillon to serve. Targeting Matautia, who's then on the big route over the top. Misconnection means a free ball opportunity. Reynolds yields a free ball pass that gets taken care of by Michael Lewis. Tyrants a little bit out of sorts there, and Founders clean it up.
And I think that's what, goes back to what we talked about before. This group doesn't get a ton of practice time together, so we may see some misconnections like that.
Yeah.
as long as they can mitigate it, manage that, work through it, just move on to the next play, that's what's going to be most important for them.
Great point, and we're kind of seeing it again. Still some of those set connections, not quite where they want to be, but there's a lot of IQ coming through as we're back into the rally. Nelson puts that one tight. Easy pickup from Malero. Maxwell goes to Langlois, who tries to put that one over. He got a touch off the net, but the third touch for the Tyrants does not yield one that will be inbounds, and that's going to be a point once again for the Founders, giving them an early lead here at 5-3.
You're right, Nick. The score is 5-3, so the Founders off to a good start.
Langlois finding that back line. Langlois, formerly of Team USA, learned to play at BYU, where he had never really played volleyball prior to his arrival there.
Talk about a late bloomer, right?
Yeah. One of the shortest careers for someone, for one of the most successful USA guys. Picked it up at D1, went straight in Team USA after college, played 1 year, maybe 2, and then walked away from the sport at that level and just, you know, within a matter of 6 years. Some guys have played more of that by the time they get to college. So speaks to his level, and he's been with the NVA since 2020. Touch off the block there. That's a nice point there for Lewis. Namioko to serve. Sends that one long. We talked about it a little bit this morning, Matt. You know, and I even heard it getting talked about on the NCAA broadcast of the championship. One of the biggest challenges is when you transfer gyms, that first 1 or 2 serves in a match, you really got to make sure you're getting aware of the spacing, seeing the lines right. It can just take some time.
100% agree. But it's equal for all the players, right, that haven't played in this gym before, so everyone's got to go through that as well.
Nice dig by Aguiar in transition. Go to Matatia. Matatia, roll shot, shut down. Reynolds used his head effectively there to stop a big swing on the right side from Mather. Gave Lee an easy layup free ball.
And let's talk about Ron Dunn a little bit, the setter for the Founders. He is a gamer, right?
Yeah.
He is competitive. He fully embraces the moment, plays hard, plays with heart, leads his team. Good characteristics to have from your setter.
Yeah, and I think that's also very, it's been just part of his entire brand. The time that he's been with the NVA, it was fighting for time when he was with Freedom. It was fighting for time when he was with Chicago. And all of a sudden, he got the opportunity to come and help really lead this team. And he's an obvious choice to be their starting setter. Had a solid first event. And, you know, seeing him kind of get that chance, I think that's what some of these new expansion teams, they're really showing guys that maybe weren't all-stars somewhere else, but they're really becoming the integral parts of several lineups.
Yep.
Talk about integral part of a lineup, though. Reynolds, once again, he got set that from 8 feet off and just teed off on that ball.
You got to feed the ball through the middle of the court, establish it in the front row early on, and then incorporate that big attack through the middle as the match progresses. That's a good play there from the middle attacker.
Hammers that jump serve, but beautiful pass by Matatia. Triple block, gets a good touch. Wow, saved by Nelson. Aguiar hammers Doug. Lewis goes backside, Matatia. Free ball opportunity. Tip goes wide by Dylan. For all the defense they just played, for that to be the end feels a little, I feel cheated, Matt, I'll be honest.
Well, you got some middles in there that are trying to set when perhaps they shouldn't.
Yeah.
Just saying, you've got a setter. It's his position. Let him do the setting. And middle blockers, you get to stay in there and block.
Matatia leaves that one short. Ron Dunn to serve. He was the first server of the match. Lost a handle on that one as it went long. See if he has a little more success here on his second trip to the line. Great pass, goes to the outside tempo ball, and there's the Jake Langlois classic. Just tossing that one down right over the top of the blocker.
Yeah, he's made a career of that shot. The timing of that set to his approach is a little bit off, and the set's off the net. Jake's tight to the net. He just goes kind of with this behind the head, throw down, past the line blocker for the kill.
Perfect pass by Lee. Dylan not missing the connection on that swing. This one's still neck and neck here that, Founders definitely not struggling to find those points earned. It's good to see.
Well, early on, these teams both teams sort of feeling each other out. Still a long way to go though, Nick.
Big connection still a bit off for the Tyrants. Lee saves that one. Langlois with a pancake picked up in a free ball in transition. Piotr Namiotko bangs that one off the block of Aguillard. And a welcome bit of offense for this squad. Nelson, a serve, gets the tape to go his way. Well played by Aguillard, but didn't leave him with a lot of options. Langlois and Maxwell not quite on the same page. I think that Langlois was very hopeful with what was going to happen with that set.
I mean, for a team that doesn't practice together, they're trying to do some things that only players that have played together for years would be able to do together. That was pretty aggressive.
Tip over the top, picked up by Dunn. Lead to take two. Piotr attacking the corner into one, no one home. Founders gonna take a timeout here Tyrants gonna take a timeout. 13-9. Founders running away with this one early, but we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Well, getting back into the action here, Matt, definitely not the start we expected. At the same time, we talked a little bit this morning about Matadors when they got off to a 4-service ace run to kind of start that first set. And I talked a little bit about you can't overvalue when one team's just not clicking, those kind of things. And right now we've seen two missed big connections. A missed connection to the outside. Tyrants clearly still trying to find some connections, and they're down by 4. What's your kind of take on this? Where are we at? Are they in trouble, or is it just work out some of the kinks?
Well, Nick, I think that's a valid question, and I would venture to guess that they are not in trouble whatsoever as they get the side out after the timeout. And this is just a group of guys, again, that hasn't got a lot of time playing together, still working out kind of their flow, right? Working out those kinks. Again, only the 3rd match of the season for the Tyrants. New faces on the team. What they really just need to do, don't overcomplicate it, right? You can work on certain things. You don't have to work on everything.
Right.
Pick a few things that you want to be good at from set to set and piece it together, kind of like a puzzle as the season goes along, and that's going to make them better over time, right? They don't need to do everything all at once. If it doesn't go their way, just do a reset, play normal, solid, straight-up volleyball, disciplined volleyball, and they'll be just fine.
Absolutely, and there you see Maxwell, 2 back-to-back bang serves. That one, I like that run there to Dylan, but Antoine Aguillard just read that like a book.
6'8". Aguillard's been through the league for a couple of years now.
Yeah, I joined the team, the Ramblers, in 2020, and prior to that, he was playing a lot of overseas ball. He's got 3 or 4 years professional experience, some experience with Team USA, so he's one of those guys that, more than anything, I would say got gated by his height. He's a little bit shorter than 6'8", but, he's one of those guys that made his athletic moves.
Potato, potato.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think that's one of the things that really stopped some of that further progression for how smart he is with the game.
Yep.
He really sees it at a high level. Nice pickup from Dylan. Reynolds gets the block touch. Another block touch, going for their 3rd swing in a row. Piot blocked back, going for the 4th swing in a row. Can they get it to go? Mulero finds the dig. Mather wipes it off the hands, picked up by Dunn. Helped out by Nelson, and there's the duel. Founders get the point. A little bit of a discussion here whether there was a contact or not, but frankly, that ball does not go that direction without some help.
Got to applaud the effort, though, from both sides.
Yeah.
The blocking of the Tyrants was really on point until that final swing, but good covering as well from the Founders.
Tight pass. Ball is in. Wow, I thought for a second that Reynolds might have missed that one wide, but found it into the corner all the same. (16-12). Founders have maintained this 4-point lead that they found early. Mather swings in, but there was a net on the block also from Founders, so he's got his choice of how he wants that point. But either way, it's his all the same. Good pass straight to Reynolds. We talked about it earlier. He is the offensive all-star here. If the passing gives it to him, Ron Dunn is going to look to him every single time. And I just love that Ron doesn't overcomplicate the offense.
No, he does not. And the Founders, they do run a fairly bland offense, but if it's effective, it'll continue to work.
One thing that we did see when we were scouting them event 1 is his willingness to set the middles repeatedly, also late in sets. I thought was very impressive. And once they get Langston Payne really working in there, I think that's going to be another big piece of the roster. Well, we talked about the desire to have them running the middles.
I don't know if I like this challenge.
Well, so this challenge here is basically they're saying they caught the hands of Vic and Lewis on the way out. But, you know, we'll have to see how this one goes. Looking for a touch, not in or out. For anyone not familiar with our challenge system, are you getting some player insight?
I may or may not have some inside information, but I'm going to keep it inside for the suspense of the moment.
Okay. But the way our challenge system works is that you have 3 challenges to use throughout the first 4 sets of the match. If you challenge and get it right, you keep all 3 challenges. If at any time you get one wrong, then you are down that challenge, so you have 2 left. Get to the 5th set, no matter if you had 1, 2, 3, doesn't matter. You now have 1 left.
I have a question, Nick.
Yeah.
What happens if it's a replay on the challenge?
That sounds like someone that was...
does the team that called the challenge get the challenge back?
That's actually a great question that just happened. So what do they do for that? Do you know?
Yeah, I have not gotten the explanation yet.
Oh, interesting. Anyone that didn't watch the last match, head coach next to me, Matt Prosser of the OC Stunners, challenged a call that yielded a replay. If that was the case, I would say that was a successful challenge in reversing the call.
I would agree with you.
You would keep that.
Although, if it's a replay, it's neither right nor wrong.
It just is.
It just is, and therefore, what happens to the challenge?
So it looks like we're getting a touch called. And based on the body language of all the Tyrants, no surprises there.
That's what I was told as well.
Oh, was that? Well, since you were holding out on replays. Yeah, but since you were holding out on me and all the viewers at home, I think we're all going to collectively turn our shoulder on you, Matt. Holding out information for anyone at home that feels slighted. Don't worry, I'm right there with you. We'll hold Matt accountable to that.
All you have to do is look at the body language of the player that touched it to know.
Matatia with a nice pass. Back to the middle. Bacon Lewis inside the 10. Attacking that sharp cross court to zone 4.
That's a sharp angle there from the middle attacker for the Tyrants. It's going to be tough to stop that one.
Yeah. The middles in this league, Matt, they have just continued to upgrade to very high levels. Ryan Mather misses that one wide. Reynolds responds in kind, leaving that one short in the net. Anytime you get that jump spin going, you want to miss long, never short. Give it a chance. You see Reynolds doing the most stereotypical volleyball thing, is going back through the arm motion of the toss that just didn't quite do it for you. Brian Lee with a 50-50 ball. Vacan Lewis goes way over Ron Dunn. But misses wide on the wipe. A little bit of a conversation when the players, they definitely made contact. Matt, what's the rule on that? If two players make contact above the height of the net, but it's like a mutual move, it's just a wash? No.
Make contact as in like a high five?
Physically, like they hit arms, things like that.
It's just the
nature of the beast.
Valid play on the ball.
Got it.
Yeah.
Well, there was another valid play on the ball as Dylan got his left hand up there next to Nelson and got a huge stuff down block.
Really a dream start here in set number 1 for the Founders. I mean, it's 21-16 right now. This game's getting out of reach here for the Tyrants. Founders sending an early message, Nick.
Yeah, and this one's this message moving a lot faster than it did event 1. That's for dang sure. But there's the Langlois that the Tyrants know and love. Nice kill going cross court. And that's really how he works. He's all about that sharp cross court and then kind of that off-speed shot. He just likes that fast flat to the pin.
Yep.
And then he wants to just manage it from there. Piotr Namioko blocked back in by that duo of Aguiard and Maxwell. The league has definitely shifted back to a couple of these very tall setters between Maxwell, Chris Griebenow from Wild, and Gert Leisha from Las Vegas Ramblers. You're starting to see some very large physical setters coming through. And that swing's going to go long, giving a timeout for the Founders as they are down, or they're up still by 2. They don't want to give an inch back to the Tyrants. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. 3 calls in a row is turning my brain into pudding. Well, back into the action. I'll be curious to see if there was any major adjustments, or probably just deciding to settle the guys down and see what you're able to get done. Coach Patrick Padilla chatting with the boys, and right back into Nate Reynolds. Blocked back, easy cover for Lee, and Nelson now attacking that sharp cross as the front right outside in row 1.
Yeah, really smart swing there, going through the angle, realizing that Aguiar was a little late on that block move.
22-19, good answer back. Get the side out of the timeout. To the outside once again. I got to be a little critical here. Out of all the people to be serving on the court, I mean, Jose Malero is definitely the worst choice, but Matatia is not. He's not going to give you a much worse ball than Malero. Well, I think they need to start attacking Langlois.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you obviously don't serve the guy in the opposite color jersey, but then do you serve the 6'10" Jake Langlois, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a question that everyone asks about this team, and there's really no easy answer.
Tyrants making a run back into this, and that would be very concerning. If they're able to sneak this win back and steal it here in the last little bit, I worry that Founders are going to be a little kind of thrown off their game heading into set 2. And a massive double block. Antoine Aguillard, Ryan Mather. Aguillard works pin to pin so well, just closing all the way out to his pin blockers. And that is a tie game at 22 apiece while the Founders are going to take a timeout. Don't go anywhere. Exciting conclusion to follow. Well, back into the action, whatever the Tyrants have been talking about, you know, it seems to have worked.
It was just 21-16, Founders with a 5-point advantage, and now we're tied up at 22s, Nick.
Yeah.
How fast the tides can turn.
Oh, how the turns have tabled. Maxwell continues. Nice pass by Lee. Great dig by Maxwell, and into the corner, Jake Langlois. Massive bailout. Shout out to Tanner Maxwell. How he dug that with his hands from that low, that was impressive.
I mean, it helps to be 6'10" if you're Jake Langlois to get that point, but you're right. He wouldn't have had that opportunity if Tanner Maxwell hadn't stayed at home and gotten that dig.
Oh, on the fourth serve, Maxwell leaves it short, but, you know, nothing to complain about there. Those first three gave them fantastic responses in terms of blocking based on how much pressure he was putting on. Dylan to float, targeting Matatia once again, and Mather throws it down the line. You talked earlier a little bit about the health that, you know, Mather is in right now, and man, he just flies. He gets up there so high, all that vision. Set point number 1 for the Tyrants. Going back to Piotr Namiotko, battles it off the block of Aguillard, and that's going to give them another breath of fresh air. 24 apiece. We're going to see some extra points here, Matt.
Overtime volleyball, Nick. Got to win by 2. Some added drama to the opening set.
Add a little spice, and everything nice for everyone involved except for Piotr. Missing that one long, putting his team now on the back foot. They've got to stave off another set point. Aguillard has a variety of serves. He's got his friendly, I'm going to make sure that this one's in serve, and he's got one that's got a lot more pace, so we'll see which one he opts for here. Well played. And Reynolds cuts it back, but Maxwell home to make the dig. Aggressive bump set. And there it is. Ryan Mather showcasing how physical he can be. 26-24. That's going to do it for set number 1. Switch sides. We're coming right back into the action. Texas Tyrants lead 1-0. sideline, Noah Chast with Coach Gianluca Grasso. Go ahead, guys.
Thank you, Nick. Coach Gianluca Grasso. 21-16, you guys are down. Come back and win the thing 26-24. What clicked for you guys?
You know what? I just told them, let's make them play. You know, let them make the mistakes, keep the ball in play. If the ball's not there, better the ball, essentially. And they did that really well. A couple surge went in, little blocks, little defense, and we were able to pull out that set.
A hot start for that Founders team, but obviously you guys pulled it out. What did you learn from that first set about the Philadelphia team?
You know, they're scrappy. They're ready to play. You know, they want to win, so we just got to want it more than they do.
What's maybe one thing or one player you want to see excel in this next couple sets to really separate?
I want to see Mather get a little more involved on the right side. He has been big for us first two matches, so I want to see him get going a little bit more here.
Gotcha. Best of luck, Coach. Appreciate it. Thanks. Back to you guys.
All right. Awesome to see exactly what was going on there. And I think that's pretty apt. It's one of those things that Ryan Mather is definitely a guy that you can run your entire offense through. They didn't really give him a ton of sets, but their blocking has been an absolute, that's going to be a linchpin for them to just make this easy.
So I'm looking at the stats here. Obviously, the Tyrants scored 5 points with their blocking, right? But what's not on the stats is how many block backs, right, or deflections they got in that opening set. And off the top of my head, I can think of one rally alone where they put it back four times on the Founders side. So, the block and defense we knew from the Tyrants was going to be a very formidable problem for the Founders, and it's not going to go anywhere.
No, and what's kind of worrisome is that Tyrants finished their offensively, they're plus 12 on point production, and that was including the fact that they had 3 or 4 just completely missed synchronicities on, some pretty basic balls. Once they shore that up, I mean, this team looks like it's kind of they just dictate whether there's an error or not,
There's a lot of weapons on the Tyrant side, and it just puts pressure on every single one of the Founders, including the coaching staff, of how to figure out, the answer to the riddle of what you do against this team because they have so many weapons.
On that same note, no surprises. There are no changes for either one of these squads in their personnel. So they just want to run it back at 26-24. I don't think that's any surprise at all. But, Matt, sometimes you get, at least I get a little concerned when I see a team that comes out hot like Founders did. They lose the handle kind of just to a good team. Having them come back in the second set and play to the same level, it's very hard to do.
It is, and usually you can tell from the first couple of points, where the mindset is of the team that just lost that previous set. That's a good side out right out of the gates off of a great pass as well from a pretty tough serve.
Float from Dunn targeting Matatia. Langlois leaves that one short after going for that sharp 4-4 angle. Dunn to float, targeting Matatia, but once again, just getting a great ball up that Mather tip over the top, taking Namioko out of the offensive lineup. But no need when Jeff Nelson's got that cannon. Huge swing from the outside, number 44. Good pass from Matatia. Mather, once again, just not finding his connection with Maxwell, which is uncharacteristic. They were teammates at GCU, and that's always been one of those things that they were kind of a natural plug and play at the Ramblers because they just played together for so long.
I got a really good view of Mather's approach that time, and he took off from about a foot behind the 10-foot line, and that sort of put him at a disadvantage on that one.
Good to know. Always delivering the high-level goods. That was a double contact by Lewin, but no call. And that's going to be tipped out of bounds. First contact, though, I don't think you can really get called for a double. That one was kind of weird, but
usually see that get called as a lift, but definitely perhaps a missed opportunity there for the Founders that they'd like to have back.
Nice pass from Lee. Keeping it backside, tip over the top by Nelson. Picked up by Maxwell. Oh, nice bump set. Good dig. Founders get a chance here. Nelson once again continues to produce.
Well, it's these rallies ensue these extended rallies. The Founders get multiple opportunities to score. Really compromises the Tyrants block because they got to work extra hard back and forth laterally.
Yeah.
Founders doing a nice job spreading the offense out and then finally getting that ball off the block and down for the point.
The outsides have already contributed 9 points in the first 2 sets here, and we're barely into set number 2 at all. So those guys are both Michael Lewis and Jeff Nelson both doing a fantastic job here today, considering that was something that they really needed to adjust here in the second event. Ooh. Set. Ron Dunn wanted to beat the block there. He didn't care how perfect the set was. He just needed to get Dylan a chance to put that one down, and down he does. Off the tape, recovered in the service line. Brian Lee cannot handle the pressure from Langlois there. But 6-2. Matt, that is a pretty stellar start, I would say, for the Founders.
Great start for the Founders. Tyrants just making it hard on themselves going down by these, larger numbers here, especially early on. I mean, I guess it's okay if you're going to go down by 4. You've got a long way to go until the set's over, but you just don't want to be down by more than 4 or 5 points in a set ever.
Yeah. The middle attack is unrelenting. Dylan gets another kill. Tanner Maxwell's been playing some great back row defense, but ultimately you can only dig a middle so many times before he's going to get his point. Nice pass from Malero, finds Aguiard. A heroic move by Dunn keeps that alive. And now Langlois blocked, but a kick dig. Piotr Namioko gets his chance, and that one goes in. Ryan Mather might be playing soccer out there, but not enough volleyball, and that's going to be a point for the Founders.
Now the kick save nearly came back to haunt the Founders on that one as they celebrated, but they did a good job of regrouping and staying in the point. Aggressive serve.
That was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. I thought that was still going, but dropped in nicely at the end. But out all the same. Langlois now to serve. Good pass. Piotr dug by Malero. And Matautia gets his turn. That's a name we haven't really said much yet on the offensive side of the ball.
Relatively quiet through set number 1. But making his presence felt here. He was actually negative points in set 1, so that's a welcome point scoring opportunity as Jake Langlois dials up the service ace.
Yeah, it goes deep into that corner in 5. Back-to-back aces. Langlois making his money right now. Good hand pass. Piotr once again the option. It is crazy how much the Founders have changed their entire look up by just getting a new right side out there. Piotr is showcasing that he is a chosen go-to option for them here and doing a great job with it. Nice pass by Malero. Back to Mather. Mather dug by Nelson. Can Lee track it down? He can. Founders down to 5 defenders here. And that one gets banged into the sideline, confirmed in. Jake Langlois' massive swing out of the back row.
Just a huge effort there by the Founders to run it down and get the ball back over the net. But was it essentially a free ball, and the Tyrants then have 4, sometimes 5 attackers coming down full speed. And Jake Langlois out of the back row, that pick is dangerous, Nick.
Yeah. Aguiard misses the contact, leaves that one short. And we haven't seen Langlois actually connect as well with his Bix in recent time. You know, they're always looking for that option, but he certainly found the handle on that one.
It's one of those things that just develops over time as well, you know, reps and practice. The timing of it is so specific.
Mather attacking the line, finding Lee's hands, but now the Tyrant machine starting to get rolling over there, down by 2. Getting a little feedback that I think the score is currently flipped on our score bug on the stream. We're going to get that resolved for you right now, so don't worry about that one. That serve goes long. And the Founders currently lead 11-8, so if you're seeing that, don't worry. We're well aware and getting that one resolved, and we'll have that fixed for you shortly. Reynolds misses just wide. Montatia to serve again. Oof. Looking to really put some pace on that one, but leaves it short. And the serving errors continue for these teams. Quick feed into the middle. Tanner Maxwell with the sauce. Vickers Lewin making that point easy. Set to the outside, plenty of time. Piot misses the hands. Not getting what they're looking for. And a challenge is called. My immediate reaction is always just looking right away at the players like you had said before. I think that seems like it's probably going to be a touch called if I had to read my body language book correctly, but we'll see.
It is always a fun exercise in body language deciphering, right? Trying to figure out who touched it, if they did or didn't touch it.
Yeah, I would say Tanner Maxwell, guilty.
Agreed. Founders are very proud with their 2 for 2 so far on the challenges here in this match, as you can see by their
they're celebrating
jubilant
the
reactions. Yeah, you take those victories where you can get them.
Valero gets a tight pass. That one hits the antenna.
That ball clearly hit the antenna first.
Doesn't mean Maxwell is not going to argue for his point. That's for dang sure. Nelson leaves that one short. Jump serve to Nelson. Good pass. Reynolds in transition. Or sorry, Dylan. Reynolds now returning to the court.
That'll bring us to our 15-point media timeout here in set number 2, Nick.
Yes, it will. We're going to catch a quick breather. We'll be right back. Well, that media timeout, I don't think the Tyrants are going to complain about the overall effectiveness, because being down by 4 here halfway through, they're definitely going to have to kind of go back to the playbook that they opened in set number 1 there, because they got to right this ship and they got to start doing it real quick. Sean Dillon to serve here. Good ball from Malero, but it forces Maxwell to get very athletic with it, and Maxwell connects with Mather beautifully. Mather continues to get involved, just like Coach Gianluca Grasso wanted to see. And it's great to see that this team continues to operate, even with Grasso. You know, it's weird to see him not suited up, but they continue to excel just with the variety of players that he's recruited for this squad. So great to see. And Piotr Namiotko blocked back into his head from Austin Matautia. And just like that, it is now only a 2-point lead. But a good pass gets a good option for the middle. Reynolds scoring once again. Plenty of times that we're saying his name there. If I'm not mistaken, that'll be statting his 5th kill of the match so far. Malero with a tight pass, saved by Maxwell, but just too much heat. And anytime you get that that overpass off Malero, just make a note in your little book, because it does not happen much. Namiotko to serve once again, but being cleaned up first by the Tyrants. You know, maybe a little bit of head games. Stall him, slow him down. Not going to give him a chance to go hit another serve like that without thinking twice. And it works, whether they want to admit that that was their strategy or not. And now a serving substitution. Anthony Robinson will come in for Antoine Aguillard. Robinson, a phenomenal role player, can play both sides of the pins. He can even play in the middle and do well. He's played for Tyrants before when they've been shorthanded. Just a all-around, well-rounded player. But no problem. Founders find their touch, and another point out of the middle from Reynolds. Back set to Mather. And that right there was a lot more of the set that Mather really likes.
Yeah.
When he's got a little bit more time, a little bit more verticality on that set, and he just gets his approach line, that's where he's going to do some bad things.
You know, let's see if he can translate that to the inline now with his service game.
Goes off speed, still trying to find his touch, it looks like. Ooh, misconnection there on the side of the Tyrants. What that block was doing, Langlois felt a little hung out to dry, looked like, based on his body language, but a nice kill from the Founders. And Reynolds back to serve once again. Reynolds missed just wide the last time he served. Gonna see if he's able to dial that one in here. Good pass from Langlois. Means it's time for Matautia. Reynolds playing middle back, not able to ring that one in.
Tyrants are within striking distance, Nick. Down by 3, but they've got to make a move.
Nice serve by Matatia. Laid up for Piotr Namioko, and Piotr will not be stopped. He's a man on a mission. That's kill number 5 this set. He was -3 in set number 1, but they definitely wanted him to be part of the offense. And Ron Dunn determined to do so. Short bounce off the tape. This one's got to go. Founders, smart play by Lee to air this out. Malero adds some tempo back to the ball. And Langlois nets. Oh, I guess not. I saw Langlois net pretty good there, I thought.
The net is still jiggling a little bit, but I didn't actually – I thought maybe it was his leg. I mean, he was well over on that throwdown, but –
I don't think that should have gone the way of the Tyrants, but that's the Founders' call to challenge. Either way. Well, maybe the volleyball gods agree with me.
Maybe they do, Nick. Maybe they do.
Thanks for that valuable insight, Matt. 4 points down, 21-17 now. Matatia overpass. Both teams trying to accelerate the ball as it goes, and a missed bit of communication there for the Founders. Tanner Maxwell's size is absolutely bailing the Tyrants out on a couple of these passes.
The Tyrants, they've got to pull that pass one ball width off the net, and it'll be right on the money.
Making Nelson work in the back row, though, to pick that corner up. Man, Tanner Maxwell is just having a match for himself right now. Into the corner, another big point for the outside. Michael Lewis. He had 5 kills with only one block, or he got blocked once with no errors. Hit 63% in that first set. Tip coming, free ball opportunity. Low set means blocked.
Yeah, misconnection there for sure in the middle. That set definitely too low for Nate Reynolds. But the Founders have to cover your teammates. Nice, right back through the middle. Go back to him. That's what an experienced setter like Ron Dunn does with his middles. Just because he got blocked on the previous point, reestablish that connection, get it back in system, score the point, and keep going to work.
Man, say that one 3 times fast.
No thanks. Pass. Once was enough.
Ooh, Austin Matatia doing bad things to the ball. Big line swing. Nice job by the Tyrants. Take care of the pass, and the setter will take care of you.
Here we are, a key moment in this set now for both teams. Are the Tyrants able to pull it back in, or do the Founders get the side out for set point?
Little combination, but getting nobody fooled. Ryan Mather read that like a book.
Yeah, that was not the smartest offensive play to run. You literally brought Lewis straight at the 6'8" Ryan Mather, and he said, thank you very much. The easiest block of the match for him.
But that's going to get a timeout called here at 23-21. Tyrants down by 2. A little bit of time. We'll be right back to see if they can make it happen. Well, here comes the question, Matt. I mean, is, that 2-point lead, is that going to be enough for the Founders to stave them off, or are we about to see a repeat once again that the late-game Tyrants is just too much to handle?
Well, that offense doesn't help the cause. Good block back for the recycle, though.
Low set, that makes it work. Wow, Piotr Namioko there, that was a very low ball by the time it got to him, but he just put a line on that one.
Good adjustment there by the opposite hitter. Gives them set point now for the Founders, Nick.
Big one here indeed. Lewis puts a good line on that. Well dug by Malero. Tip to the corner, picked up. Reynolds sends it over. And now Mather, high off the hands. You can only give Ryan Mather so many chances before he is just going to take over a match. Founders has to be very careful about the workload he's getting right now.
Well, another key moment with Mather at the end line now.
And he sends that one long. Uncharacteristic miss for the big man. And that's going to do it. 25-22. We are split. One set apiece. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back for set number 3. Well, before we get into set number 3 here, we're split at 1 apiece. We're going to send it over to the sideline, Noah Chast, with the coach for the Philadelphia Founders. Noah, take it away.
All right, thanks, Nick. Coach, up in that first set, slips away from you. Up in that second one, almost slips away from you. How does it feel just to get a set win here in the NVA?
I mean, it feels really good, to be honest. I mean, the guys are playing hard. Our game plan was to be aggressive this whole time, stay disciplined, and it's really working for us. We're staying together as a team, which is really important for us right now, and we're making big points when we need to make it happen.
And now that that sort of monkey is off your back, how do you execute your game plan of slowing down the offense, playing calm and playing confident?
You know, I think we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. Like, I told the guys, just serve aggressively. Like, if they have any service errors, like, don't worry about it. Swing big, and we're playing really good defense right now. We're getting a lot of block touches on their big swingers. And that's all we really need to do right now, and just score big points on our side and just keep the momentum going.
Speaking of their big swingers, it looks like Ryan Mather is starting to really get warmed up here, and they're feeding him a lot. How do you combat that?
You know what? We decided to just take his angle and just make him work the line and give Brian, our libero, a chance to dig him. And it seems to be working right now. And we're gonna wait till he turns up, and we'll see where we'll go from there.
All right, thanks, Coach. Appreciate seeing the battle. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Nick, Matt, back to you guys.
Well, I think that's a very sound game plan.
Yeah,
It's
I'd
just, can Mather attack the line? Absolutely. But a general rule of thumb, make the hitter prove it. And I think that he's one of those guys that the worst thing that can happen is he's already producing through the angle and now starts opening up the line just because it's available, as opposed to having to earn that point. And I think that they've been doing a great job slowing him down. So have to kind of see where that one's going. But I want to take a moment. Sometimes it's hard to acknowledge when setters are doing well or not. I have to say Tanner Maxwell is bettering a ton of balls, applying a ton of pressure from the service line, and playing great defense. I think Tanner Maxwell is a guy to keep an eye on here, and he's keeping them well in this match.
Yeah, I certainly agree. I mean, the passing, if we're going to nitpick a little bit, could be a little bit less tight to the net.
Yes.
But Tanner is doing a great job mitigating those passes that are right on top of the cable and then still being able to run a good offense out of it.
Right. And it really just speaks to how important it is. You know, a tall setter is great, but you have to be able to do something with it. You have to be a disciplined blocker. You have to be able to find some of those one and quick two-handed sets, and, you know, it just speaks to how much of a veteran setter he is. And no fluke that he is an NVA champion.
No fluke at all.
Just another example of a guy that we didn't see set much when he was behind Michael Keegan of the Ramblers, and you see him get his own team and just pilot of the ship, well earned and ton of fun to watch. Backside to Mather. There's Mather with the off speed. May not be a true hit line ball, but certainly taking advantage. And if you're Brian Lee, that is so scary to defend because if you start creeping up on that defense and he decides to unload one, well, you might have to have your second libero into the court because you're heading to the hospital.
Yeah, certainly. It's very dangerous.
Wow, Nelson drops that tip on a dime. Vekas Lewin says that's my bad. He's got to be coming across to back up Austin Matautia there.
Yeah, and that's another one of those plays that just happens, you know, against a team that doesn't spend a lot of time in the practice gym together. It's going to drop.
Nice pass by Langlois. Off the head. Piot picks it up. Chaos ensues. Off speed picked up by Matautia. And a chance from Mather. Roll shot over the top. Redirected, sent back over. Valero picks up some tempo on that free ball. Langlois hammers it home. Another chance done. Tries to put it short. Taken by Lewis. To the outside. Matautia now. And that's going to be the winner. Oh my goodness, the Founders are not going home easy.
They're giving it everything they have, and they're pushing the Tyrants. I mean, you have to applaud the effort of their guys to sit in there and play some defense. Namioko running over the camera equipment to save that one. Just really all around well played and well efforted by both sides.
Mather missing another serve. They're definitely giving him every chance right now to get involved, and he's still doing so in a positive manner, but just a bit of a struggle all the same. High ball back to Mather, leaves that one short.
You say leave it short, but I'll say he just blasted that one into the net. That set didn't quite get all the way out to his hitting shoulder, and not the best adjustment that time by number 14.
Continuing to attack Matautia. And a tip from Mather. Don't know what happened on that set. I would like to see Reynolds get that ball. Tyrants looking a little aggravated on their side, though. That point felt like a bit of a bailout, to be honest. Matautia hammers that serve.
That was an absolute rocket, Nick.
Yeah.
Wow.
Man,
where's the radar gun when you need one?
My team has one for Wild, and I've been wanting to figure out a way to integrate that into the stream. So maybe that's something we see.
Perhaps.
Congrats.
Perhaps.
Oh, I think you said congrats. I was like, thanks, Matt. I'll stick that in my pocket.
We should get that radar gun set up at the inline from both sides to see how fast these serves are going.
Matautia again just continues. But, fast out of bounds isn't all that impressive.
Two aces and an error is, a pretty decent ratio, though, in the service run.
Namioko to jump serve here. Wow, wasting no time, but a great pass from Langlois. Missed connection to Vekas Lewin means it's time for a point for the Founders. Tied at 5s apiece.
That service error gives the Tyrants back that 1-point advantage that they've had for most of this third set.
Oh, back into Namioko, and that's going to be blocked for a point. Tough spot. He's currently hitting quite negative overall, but or he's producing negative points. Just he's getting blocked, having some hitting errors, but he's a necessary. It's necessary. They have to keep the offense spread. They have to keep the Tyrants respecting him.
Yep.
And it's by far the best option they have. Lee with a heroic cover up there. Aguiar resets. Langlois roll shot over the top.
Jake doing what he does best, the 6'10", showing full speed, and then at the last second dials it down and just roll shots it into the open court. For the big man, he's got quite some range.
Backside to Piotr again. Latatia inside to Jake. Jake gets blocked back. Missed coverage. And that's a bit of a bailout point for the Founders, but they're going to take it with open arms. Man, both these teams struggling right now on the service line, Matt.
Yeah, this is sort of the ebb and flow of indoor volleyball. A couple compiling service errors.
Maxwell continues serving well, though. Piotr puts that one down the line. Clip the tape. A little bit of a discussion on the side of the Tyrants if that hit the pin. And they're going to go ahead and challenge if that hit the antenna. So that challenge is going to be, they're debating if that hit the pin on the way down. Or they're challenging that it didn't.
The Founders are challenging. So the original call was that the ball is out of bounds on the attack from the Founders. Our line judge was in the motion of protecting himself while the flag was on its way up.
Gotcha.
Okay. However, Founders think it was in, so we're getting a quick response.
Maybe a little clarification on it. So give us 1 second here, get some clarification. I think there might have been a technical related issue. Yeah, we're gonna get a little, our sideline investigator is gonna give us a little bit more additional information. Noah Chast, take it away whenever you get a chance.
Yeah, Nick, you're exactly right. There was a mechanical error, so they could not see it to overturn it, so that's why it stayed.
Well, Founders are going to feel that one, but hey, you know, sometimes you just don't get that luxury of the challenge, and you got to play the game as it stays. And a challenge called there. And you can hear some of the chirping from the Founders players asking if there's going to be technical related issues to this challenge. But it's very important that the Founders don't get kind of mentally derailed. Sometimes things just don't quite go your way. Right there, the man that has won the hearts of so many of the NVA, Jose Malero. Call confirmed, ball is down. It's turned into a bit of a challenge, challenge off, I guess. We'll see if we can get him back into some action here. But rather have the system there to get it right. Reynolds a little bit upset with how things are going, decided to take it out on some front row teammates. I don't think that would have even hit the net if they were not teammates there, so they saved him a solid favor there.
Always a good strategy.
Grab some bench. Over the top, goes to the Bic. Maxwell looking for a touch, just cannot bring it up. Nicely done by Lewis. Float serve, once again saved by Maxwell, but Ron Dunn tracks it down. Off speed reset. Piot gets another chance, but Matautia says, take it back, sir. We've been waiting all day. We've been very critical, rightfully so, of blockers really getting over the net. And man, Austin Matautia right there, just so disciplined. Just wrists over, nothing crazy, but just over the net. Gets a nice shutdown block. That's a heck of a set there to Sean Dillon in the middle, number 7.
Yeah, it's a good response there. Get some more action through the middle for the Founders and put some pressure on the block and defense of the Tyrants with their middle blockers as well as their pin hitters.
Molero sticks it in there. Great pass, and Mather on the side out swing, finding it down the line to zone 5. Nelson cannot handle the heat.
Ryan Mather gone through a little bit of a lull here early on in set number 3, so that's a good response to see him score on the right side there. Now let's see if he can find his serve for the Tyrants, though.
Nice pass by Lee, middle attack. Vekas Lewin all over that one, though.
Lewin with a good read block, realized that the middle was running that float route, kind of a bit of a drift.
Yep.
Look at his hands up and over for that block.
There's the Ryan Mather serve. Lee tracks it down. Lewis throws it over. Matautia in transition. Mather, but he was over. Back row attack. Double sub coming in here. That's going to be Chris Hall coming in, making his NVA debut here, replacing Ryan Mather, and then Skylar Marshigi coming in as the front row opposite. Played some middle blocker for them last event. He's definitely one of those guys that might appear a little undersized, but he absolutely flies. So they're going to be using him middle, right side, whatever they need, but very utilitarian-based player. Nice up by Molero. Another up by Molero, and Hall goes to the outside. Marshigi blocks straight down. Piotr Namioko definitely need that one. He's been hitting into a bit of a lull himself.
Yeah, one way to get out of that lull really quickly is get a couple quick points at the net with your block, just like Namioko did right there.
Molero ace twice in a match. Not sure I've ever seen it.
It is a full moon.
Yeah. Working that float serve. Sean Dillon contributing in a variety of ways so far for this Founders squad. And there's the dig to contribute. Vekas Lewin short set, or a little bit low on the set, but he manages to find that one over. And that's going to be a media timeout for here at 15-12. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Back into the action, a little bit of a breath of fresh air for the Founders. They're going to need to turn this one around. They've barely squeaked out set 2, and they lost the handle on set 1 because that 4-point lead is kind of the bare minimum. So now down by 3. I don't know, Matt. Not too confident here.
An uphill battle for sure.
Great coaching call there by the media timeout, isolating Matautia.
I'm sure the Founders coach has had some very strong words that led to that service error by the Tyrants.
Yep.
Good insight, Nick.
Quick set to the middle, Vekas Lewin. And that's one of those, things that's difficult anytime is really getting a high-level connection with the middle. And Maxwell's obviously been setting all match, but Hall just to come in and, set Lewin right off the bat. Do you know were they teammates?
They were teammates at
okay.
USC, yep.
Nice dig by Hall. Aguiar got some cement blocks there. Just couldn't quite get that one moving once he made that block move. 14-16, Founders down by 2. See if they can earn another real point here off the serve of Lewis. Miss serve long, and that'll be the double set undone, or the double sub undone. Chris Hall, Skylar Marshigi back to the bench, and Tanner Maxwell, Ryan Mather return to the court. This is something that we've seen quite a bit of throughout Tyrants' history, is that double sub, regardless of what the personnel on the court might look like. So definitely no surprise that they look to use it there. It's funny, I almost forgot that they did that because the new jerseys, and so many new personnel.
Now that double sub's really turned into quite a weapon that's used, by a lot of teams. And when you have the people to do it, I think it's a great weapon to utilize.
Yeah, really opens you up a variety of options and also burns through your subs pretty quick.
That's true.
Only 6 subs, so that uses 4 of them. Reynolds attacking Langlois, one-handed set. Langlois dug by Reynolds. Nelson hammers it home, cross court, finds the winner into 5. What a swing from Jeff Nelson.
Now the Founders, when they get a chance to take a crack at it, they take full advantage. They get their money's worth.
Got to applaud the outsides. This is the same outsides that were playing event 1, but they are not playing the same way. And an ace from Reynolds. Just like that, the Tyrant serve receive, which has been nothing but nails. We've seen, a couple aces back-to-back. Matatia, Malero, even Langlois struggled with that last one, only saved once again by the size of Maxwell. 17s apiece. It's hard because I don't think anyone at home can hear, but we just hear the chirping from the side of the Tyrants in the net. And the last 2 times we've heard it, it was dead silent in the gym, followed by 2 serves that near hit the back wall. So it's just apt timing. Nelson with the off speed. Malero tries to track it down. Langlois had a great first step, and Maxwell kind of took that one out of his hands. 18s apiece. Is this the first 2 sets both went 4, right?
First 2 sets both went 4.
First 2 matches today both went 4, right?
That would be correct, yes.
So this one will at least see.
This is your 3rd straight match, so I'll cut you some slack on that question.
Backside to Mather. Talked a little bit earlier about my brain being mashed potatoes. I think the stream might have heard it, but after a swing like that off the head, I think Sean Dillon might be joining me.
Heavy heat right off the dome.
Aguiar going to be subbed out here for Anthony Robinson to be that serving sub, and this is going to be the 6th and final sub when this is undone. Matatia gets the block touch, but Nelson not to be stopped. Jeff Nelson ended set number 2 with 7 kills on 9 attempts. No errors, hadn't been blocked, hitting 780.
Wow.
That's
solid numbers.
That is
solid numbers.
Feed him all day.
Just like his jersey number 44.
Yep. Oh. That was long, but not by much. There it is for Ryan Mather. Recycled by Namioko. Dunn goes back to him. Another block touch. Matautia hits that one into the equipment. 20-20, race to 5.
The business end of the set, Nick, always the most exciting part.
Yep, and this is where every single match we've seen the Tyrants start really just turning it on. So, see, without a lead, can the Founders hold on, make a move, or is Texas Tyrants going to just turn it on and take this one, head us into set number 4? Well, they don't have to do much when the serve doesn't get over the net. Matautia started cracking some jump serves last time he was on the line. And Founders is not waiting to find out what that looks like right now. They're going to cool him down, take a quick timeout, break up the tempo of the game here. We're going to take a quick timeout before we get back into the dog days of set number 3, Texas Tyrants versus Philadelphia Founders. Don't go anywhere. Back into the action, Austin Matautia has yet to hit his first serve in this serving run. See if he's able to find the rhythm right off the bat. Good ball from Nelson to the outside. Another attempt for Lewis. Dug by Mather. Mather gets the set. Mather gets the swing. Just wide. Looking for a touch, but no touch to seen. Tyrants are going to go ahead and challenge the touch on that one. I didn't see it. I think he missed that one wide and out of the back of the court. But I think Coach Gianluca Grasso, there's something to be said that when one of your players, especially a team leader like Maxwell, feels very strongly that there might have been a chance, sometimes you just, if you've got them to spare, show a vote of confidence, trust your guy, and also it's not a bad time to call the challenge. If you randomly get this one.
Right. Yeah, it could work out. It slows the game down a little bit too.
Just
you don't burn a timeout.
Yeah,
you know?
So I like it. Even if they don't get it here, sometimes when we see that, that challenge at 1-1, it's like, what are we doing here? Just save it, play it later, because I would rather see this challenge here. So Noah's getting, as always, the insider scoop from what teams are going to tell us versus what we see.
Yeah, Nick, most of these teams are pretty honest with us. They say they didn't see a touch, they didn't feel a touch, and they believe the Tyrants are just trying to slow the game down. So no one on this side seems to be hiding or admitting anything, so they think it'll stay with them.
And there it is. And there it is, Noah. Once again, just giving the people at home the honest, accurate, and, as always, timely updates. 21 apiece. Matt, race to 4 is underway. Cleaning up a little spillage on the floor. Piotr Namioko to serve. Off speed, Malero ready for it. But once again, Tanner Maxwell's size continues to be the most important part of the serve receive for the Tyrants.
Absolutely. Saving that one, bringing it back for his team, going quick, and then hammering that one wrist away for the point, and a huge side out.
Robinson and Aguillard had not undone the substitution, so before Aguillard could return to the court, they had to do it. And that should be the 6th and final substitution for the Texas Tyrants. So the team, as you see it now, will be the one for the rest of the set here. Getting some of the books here worked out before we get underway. R2 has signaled ready, so the play will resume. Vekas Lewin to serve. Well, there's an interaction you don't see very much. A tool for the dump.
Off the other team's setter. Good time to
wait,
do
was
that.
it off his setter? I thought it was Aguillard. Either way, funny.
Pretty sure it was off of Maxwell's block, yeah.
Lucky bounce off the tape. Langlois swinging into the angle. We haven't said his name a whole lot here in the third set either, but timely as always, delivering an easy point from the outside, 23-22. Tanner Maxwell to serve. He's been one of the biggest and most aggressive servers here from the side of the Tyrants. Doesn't give you the warm fuzzies if you're the Founders. That one crawls over the net, but picked up. Ron Dunn not letting it go down easy. Reset, recycled, and they go to the middle in transition, but dug by Mulero. Goes to Langlois, blocked back. Can Founders get another stop? Picked up by Piot. And all sorts of calamity, but Nate Reynolds in transition. Nelson got the wind knocked out of him pretty good, I think, there. Something felt a little funny, but he's going to be good to go. What an effort by both teams there.
Entertaining volleyball here at the end of set number 3, Nick. Out on the line here. We're 2 points away.
2 points away. Reynolds not afraid to go after his serve so far. See if he can get something magical to happen here. Out of system. Inside. Mather throws it down, picked up by Dunn. Big swing, and that's going to go for the Founders. I got to say, my favorite part, as Lewis came across, Ron Dunn, the setter, wasted no time turning in transition to be the offensive option. You love an offensive setter just waiting for his chance. 24-23, this one is delivering for sure. We'll be right back, though. Don't miss anything. Well, Matt, I had a little bit of trepidation after set 1 when there's the kind of that bad beat and Founders, you know, how are they going to come back?
Yeah.
I got to say, they are absolutely showing something here. They've just been right back in it, took set 2, and now positioned with set point number 1.
Definitely showing some good character here.
I think we all felt pretty good about what they showcased in event 1, regardless of an 0-2 finish, but really just bringing that one home. Just long. The fact that they let that go was, that takes either some miscommunication or Lewis gets set on the bick. Brian Lee with a great ball. Nelson finds the high hand, absolutely. Yep. I saw the touch as well, but again, we talked about it earlier. You don't call for that challenge if you didn't touch it.
Some late set 3 drama.
That is, well, I'm dying to see this one. That was the chirping going through the net. Oh, look at that. We are, I think we're live now, challenged to see it. No, looks like it goes right through the hands. No, I'm not seeing any ball trajectory change there.
Ryan Mather pretty adamant that he didn't touch it.
Yeah.
I don't think even Aguillard is a concern at this moment, but it field goal right through the hands.
Oh, yeah, that missed him by a country
just
mile.
Missed that left pointer finger.
Well, shout out to our technical team. They, I'm pretty sure that is going live on the stream here. Yeah, so we're getting the confirmation. We are live, so shout out to the technical team here that they're, throwing us a curveball here live, tossing up the replay. So this is the first time that we've been able to show that without filming a TV.
Got to get the call right.
Float serve from Langlois. Tyrants now on their set point. And there's the kill in transition. Sean Dillon, I mentioned this to you earlier, their willingness in the late parts of the game, they'll run the middle. They don't shy away from that. And a great matchup from Dunn.
The Tyrants were scheming too. They sent Aguilar all the way to the left and left a one-on-one. Founders made him pay on that one.
And Ron will continue to set it here. This is the favorite time for the Founders. And that is down. A bounce off the tape. Not for the lack of Matatia's effort, but just cannot find it. 26-25. This is the second lead change after 25. Good pass from Matatia. He gets the set. Dug by Lee. Transition, but now Maxwell's out. Malero to Mather. High ball swing off the hands through a triple block. And that's why Ryan Mather is known as one of the best right sides in the league. He might be slow at times, but when it really counts, he's your guy.
I wish we could rewind and see the casual bump set from Jose Malero, who just kind of like trotted over. He's like, yeah, I'll bump set this one and let Ryan do all the work.
That's what he does so well. Nice pass by Jeff. Blocked back. There's the continued willingness to set the middle, but just a slight misconnection with Dillon.
Yeah, perhaps one too many times, especially in this rotation when you have two outside hitters in the front row.
And that'll be a timeout. Tyrants 27-26, the third lead change post 25. Matt, neither of these teams wants to give an inch, but we're going to be right back to see how this one concludes. Back into it here. Can Antoine Aguilar get one more serve to give the Tyrants the win here and lead at 2-1 heading into set number 4? Good take by Nelson. Back to Nelson. Austin Matatia, cold as ice. There is an absolute shutdown block. 28-26. Set number 3 in the books. Tyrants take the lead 2-1. Set number 4 coming your way right after this. Well, Matt, that one certainly delivered once again. Neither team willing to give an inch. I was definitely even more impressed with Founders there, though. They didn't really have that comfortable lead that they've been able to mess around with in sets 1 and 2, but they fought all the way to 28-26.
Yep.
Certainly impressive, but before we dive too much more into that, we're going to throw it over to the man on the sideline, Noah Chast. There he is.
Oh, thank you so much, Nick. You know, this is for you. I know you're not another sports guy, but I want to contextualize how much is going on in Philadelphia sports right now today. So obviously we have our Founders trying to get their first win against the unbeaten Texas Tyrants. In Philly, Bryce Harper home for the first time for the Philadelphia Phillies for baseball. The 76ers, Joel Embiid getting his MVP trophy, taking the series home in the playoffs against the Boston Celtics, and of course our Founders. So a lot of tight battles right now. I think the Phillies are tied, Sixers Celtics is back and forth, and this match right here is back and forth, really living up to the hype of another intense Philadelphia match. And for the Texas Tyrants and the Texas fans, I mean, it's all Texas, all things you have to look forward to on your end. But for the Phillies and the Philly fans, you might have to get your 3 screens out there and be watching every game at once. This one on the big screen, though, guys.
If you're ever curious where we found such a wonderful, addition to this team, and you live in Bend, Oregon, that's what your sports broadcast looks like every single day of the week. There's a reason why that's Noah's gig. That's what he does. Awesome little plug for everything Philadelphia. He might be in Bend, Oregon, but a true East Coaster at heart.
At heart.
We love that for him. I know the Founders love having a real homer over here on the NVA staff. Can't blame them for it, but we'll see if they can bring this one home for their boy and take a win here in the 4th set and push this to distance.
Representing the East Coast, right?
Yeah, last year I think the Tyrants had Ira as their biggest supporter, so you gotta love and see that.
Yeah, let's all remember that Noah is a huge supporter of the Southern Exposure, right? And also some other team from New Jersey. I don't recall who that is, though.
Are you talking about Team Freedom?
Crickets. Crickets. Missed the messaging on that one.
Okay, I'm a fan of all teams NBA. I'm a fan of the league, first of all. I just appreciate a good Philly sports team when I see one, okay? And I got to give them the recognition.
Oh. All right, we're getting back underway here in just a moment. Lineups are going in. Looking across the court, no major changes. In fact, no changes at all. Matt, anything you would adjust if you're coaching either one of these teams?
No, not at all. I mean, the personnel on the court they're doing some serious work. I mean, that's 3 sets with a point differential of just 3 points, right, at the most in terms of set victories. So these two teams just battling it out, good old-fashioned back and forth as we get ready to start set number 4 now.
I think one of the scariest ones to me is that Tyrants have 17 blocks to the Founders 6. That is a absolutely terrifying disparity.
2 of those block points came at the final 2 points of that last set as well.
It's timeliness. Austin Matautia getting that one done there very impressively. See what he's able to get done here as the Tyrants are serving once again. Namioko throws it down the line, but Maxwell with a nice dig off the shoulder. And Ryan Mather is claiming that he gets the kill. So this is an interesting one. We've talked about this before. In recent years, this has started to change how this gets called. I'll be curious here. If tradition, if things kind of go the way they've been changing in the game, this should go to the Founders because Mather likely wiped it off the hands, and then he likely follows through after the point of contact, and that seems like the right call there. So Mather's still the one pushing it out of bounds after that's done going through the hands of Dunn.
The only problem about that angle that we just saw is that Mather's hand is behind the ball, so the view of his hand is actually blocked. This will be the better angle from the inline.
Yeah, we broke it indeed. Getting that replay is still getting the challenge still getting sorted out. Here's a great angle. Zoom it in, enhance. I think that's the phraseology. joke with all those CSI shows. But yeah, that looks like Mather's last on the follow through to me. It's kind of hard to see. The monitor we're looking at, it's not exactly like close to us, but
yeah,
I would not be surprised if this goes the way of the Founders.
Agreed.
This is something that used to, though, they just kind of assumed that it was going to go for Mather, wiping it off the block, and then people kind of stopped and started looking at it more, and more often than not, the aggressor was the last point of contact. So.
Right. Agreed.
It is important to note, it is irrefutable evidence that must overturn, so if there's any concern, that's where you'll see it, but that's where our head ref, Mike Mon, up top has been our reviewer of all things challenges for 3 years now, and that's going to go to the Founders. It's a great shot. You can see a nice ISO version of our camera right there. Yellow card issued to the side of the Texas Tyrants. Words to be said. Disagreement, but not sure exactly what was said. Again, that's a verbal warning issued.
It's actually Chris Hall getting the yellow card on the bench of the Tyrants.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yep, not too sure what I heard. Didn't hear what he said, so we'll have to ask. Maybe Noah could find out for us at the next break.
Langlois with a nice pass. Mather tired of the discussion about a wipe, so he just goes and hammers the ball instead. No discussion there.
Best way to score and do it definitively is to not bring the challenge system into it.
Mather goes off speed, gets Brian Lee. Maybe angry Ryan Mather is the best Ryan Mather here for the Texas Tyrants, showing up in spades.
Yeah, guys, to elaborate what he did say to get that yellow card, it was sort of touching on what you were touching on, Nick, that the implication of that rule has sort of changed in recent years. He said, that's the first time that call's ever been made. That's terrible. Something along those lines in a repetitive fashion. So the officiating crew didn't take too kindly to the sarcastic compliments.
Well, to back up our officiating crew, looks like a great call. Good to hear the feedback. Sometimes the players are stuck in ways that they aren't, it's what they grew up playing. Same thing with how people react to the double call sometimes. And, the times they are changing, Matt.
Nature of the game, it evolves, and you have to be on the bus.
Oh, that's an awesome shot, too. Shout out to our production crew. Baseline view of Ryan Mather hitting a jump serve. Atatia tipped over the top. Brian Lee's taking second. Piotr Namioko hammers that. Opposite battle well underway.
Tough jump float serve, but once again, Maxwell goes through the middle. Full extension on that jump set. Sets up his middle attacker for the point. Tyrants get the side out to stay in the rhythm.
Got to say, for how few terminal blocks the Founders have had, they've done a nice job continuously getting hands up. Spinner goes long. Nice pass by Malero. Set to Aguiard. That one is blocked back into Langlois and no control at all.
That's a bad break for Antoine there. That ball was off the block, was going to go out of bounds, and Jake wasn't quite ready. Gets hit by the ball, and Founders will take the point.
Left short by Namioko. Nice pass by Lewis. Barely kept alive by Aguiard. And Langlois goes the off speed and just chisels that one down.
That's unfortunate for the Founders. They got away with one. That attack was clearly going to be out of bounds, but got to get their hands over the net on that block to try to slow it down.
Another nice pass by Nelson. And another great block. Tanner Maxwell read that one like a book, all over it.
And that terminal block count continues to climb for the Tyrants here throughout the match. Now a 3-point advantage here in set 4, trying to pull away.
To the middle, tooled. Nice kill for Reynolds.
Nate Reynolds scoring through the middle, his 8th point. It's been a bright spot for the Founders, but it gets negated by that serve into the net.
That is tough. Just continued missed serves right as they earn a point back. Maxwell missing wide. Both of these teams right now just not getting the results they want from the service line. There it is from Reynolds, out of system for the Tyrants. High ball to Mather, he's gonna have to manage, and that's gonna be a double. First ball blocked back into his head, second one tried to recover it. Great call by our up official, and a well-formed block there from the Founders. 8 serving 9. Tip over the top, dug by Lewis. In transition, Piot. Doug, kill down the line. Definitely not Doug. Malero tried to find that one, but unable to do so. Founders are surging back here, 9s apiece. Good pass from Malero. Backside, Langlois attacking that cross court. Nice pass. And now Piot gets the kill. Nelson is having an absolutely stellar match. He has anchored them in serve receive. He's swinging beyond reasonable for an outside.
Well, with all the blocks that the Tyrants have, they haven't gotten very many on Nelson throughout this match.
12 kills on 18 attempts with 1 error, 1 ace, and blocked once. Sitting 600, he's hitting 670. Well, that's a broadcaster curse right there if I've ever seen one. That's my bad. When you're watching this one back, Jeff, that you can put that one on me.
Yeah, I mean, the set was a little bit tight.
Ooh, the net says no entry denied. Matatia in system to Antoine Aguiard, absolutely crushes that ball. Aguiard not used a ton in their middle transition options there, but when they find him in the right spot, definitely someone that you've got to respect. Taken by Langlois. Backside, Mather buries that one down the line. And earlier on, we talked about the importance of funneling him down that line, but Mather, still a great player, will find those points.
He hammered that one down the line for sure.
Matatia, once again, Nelson just anchoring the passing line, and Piot finds that kill cross court in his zone 1. Looking at Jeff's numbers right now, passing a 67% on 24 attempts at the end of 3, and he's only continued to putting up equally good or better passes since then. Impressive, to say the least. Maxwell once again bettering the ball, but Antoine Aguillard closes the gates on Nate Reynolds. No entry here.
And that's just a straight read block by Antoine. Does a great job getting back to position, being patient and disciplined, and then reacting to the set to get that block point.
Wow. We saw Joseph Grosh was with the Tyrants this last, the last event. Someone we've seen playing for the Dallas Tornadoes previously, not here this weekend. So getting Antoine Aguillard back in the mix, certainly a welcome addition for them. And a missed connection there to Jeff Nelson. That's going to bring the deficit to 2, one of the biggest we've had in a while, which is scary to say, but all the same, media timeout coming in, 15-13. We're going to take a quick breather. We'll be right back. Well, that media timeout coming at a very apt time, Matt. Founders, might be considering one of their own, considering how neck and neck this has been. Down by 2 is not normally much, but if this slips away to 3, it feels like it's going to be hard to claw your way back.
Very important part of this match right now in set number 4. Fortunately for the Founders, Antoine Aguillard's at the end line. He'll float serve, but see if they can cause some problems for him. Handled nicely.
Back into the middle. I got to say, Reynolds absolutely can unload on a ball, but being able to just see that, have that vision, and just paddle a ball down 10 feet, it's virtually undefendable. There's not much you can really do to stop that ball. Just a nice, healthy, point out of the middle.
It's important to have that range with your attack. Doesn't have to be 100% all the time.
Founders need to stifle the amount of missed serves that they're having right now. It is too much. They will not climb back into the game if they're missing every other serve. And as someone that won a set that we missed 13 serves in event 1 against the Founders, speaking from a little bit of experience here. Nice pass from Nelson. He gets the set. Doesn't quite get the hands he's looking for. Nelson's starting to cool off a bit. Missed big connection. Missed that one there.
And again, I think that set just a tiny bit too tight for Nelson to try to navigate it past the Tyrant block.
I mean, this is a front row you can't put a ball tight against. Ryan Mather and Jake Langlois are extremely disciplined blockers. Inside set. Wow. Namioko working the footwork hardcore there. Able to get behind that one. Great approach line. Too much heat for Maxwell to handle. Oh, quick back set. Langlois is scoring on that back 1, trying to replicate his best middle route there. Now 18-15. Dunn tries to do something with it. Nelson almost saves that, but Founders starting to fall apart a little bit here at the seams.
Yeah, that was a tough serve from Jake Langley. Went short on the jump float hybrid. Got Founders out of system from the get-go.
And that's going to be a timeout. Makes total sense to me. We're going to be right back as this one is starting to head towards the end of the set, maybe the end of the match. We'll be right back. Well, Matt, it's starting to look like Founders are in trouble here. It feels like if they don't get this side out right now, this one might be done.
Yeah, this is an immensely important side out for the Founders after the timeout. They've got to get it on the money, and obviously they've got to earn it, but they've got to get the ball past the Tyrant block, which has been a very big question, but the service error from Jake Langley.
That's one where everyone looks at the coach and you just give him a quick knuckle bump. Coach Padilla there getting his coaching point. 16-19. Tight ball from Matatia. Vekas Lewin finding a vacancy in the block as he puts that one through. Back set, high off the hands. Tanner Maxwell tries to sauce one up, but there is no time for that. Sean Dillon with authority says, hey man, you've been setting butter to your team the whole time. I appreciate the one for me.
Seriously, that set doesn't get any better.
No.
Wow.
Hey, they want to go to Mather. Watch big. Watch big. Watch big. In the net. In the net.
Matatia, dime ball with the big swing, gets the tool off the double of Dillon and Namiotko.
Nick, I just don't know right now what the Founders can do in order to make up this 4-point gap this late in a set and a match.
Matt, I'm with you. I think that it's just kind of going to be too little too late. That's why I was talking at 15-13, the status of the game. Going down by even 2 then felt worrying to me. And now we're just putting icing on top of the cake, it feels like, you know. 22-17. And that's going to be a timeout called for Founders. I think that's going to be their last one. We'll be right back as this is going to conclude here pretty quick. Back into the action here. A well-rounded Tyrants roster looking like they are about to cross the finish line with a 5-point lead. As you said, Matt, sometimes the answers are not in the back of the book, and I don't think there's anything here. Jeez, Mather just luckily hits the tape. Founders got very lucky because that was coming in with some heat.
Founders have got to make a move right now. They've got to put some pressure on them. The serve's got to be in and tough.
Good take by Langlois. Mather with the off speed. Set wasn't where he wanted it, but man, did he make that a better swing. Massive serve. There's an ace for Matatia. And a challenge. I don't think that's anything that's going to reverse. I think this is being called just dragging the game out a little bit, to be honest, Matt.
I mean,
I'm all
you
for
don't get to save
strategy,
'em.
but
you might as well use them. You don't get to save them. Can't take them to the next match. So roll the dice a little bit. See if you get lucky.
Really quick to run the fans really quick. Oh, there's the challenge coming in. Oh, that's in for sure. Pre-ball compression and post-ball compression. That one's good all day. For just really quick, for all the fans at home that may not have seen it, feel free to check out NVAUSA.com or NVA USA on all major social media platforms for all updates. You'll be able to keep track of what set counts are going on, or whatever updates you want to see. The last match for day number 1 here is going to be Las Vegas Ramblers taking on San Diego Wild. So that should be a pretty fun one to cap off our Friday evening, Cinco de Mayo. Maybe go grab a drink, hang out, watch it with some family, some friends, and help share the love of the sport that we all want to see continue to grow here in the U.S. And Matatia leaves that one short. But now you've got to see the Founders on the back of Piotr Namiotko defend 5 set points, 5 match points. Nice serve, but great pass by Langlois. He gets the set, throws it, but is denied entry there by Ron Dunn and Nate Reynolds. And that serve goes long for Piotr Namiotko, and so closes the book on a 4-set win for the Texas Tyrants. That last one, 25-20. Set number 1 was 26-24. Set number 2 goes the way of the Founders, 25-22. Finally, 28-26 in the third. We saw extra innings in half of those sets. Definitely an impressive showing from the Founders, but still unable to lock down their first win here in the NVA.
They can take a lot of good things away from this match. They're definitely trending in the right direction. A better improvement than their first 2 matches. And, all in all, that's a good learning loss, right,
yeah,
to a very good Tyrants team. So,
and all of the notes that we had in our pregame press conference, what you and I talked about pre-match here, and everything we've kind of talked about behind the scenes, identifying weaknesses. Sorry, I was about to sneeze. Identifying the weaknesses. Nelson and Michael Lewis, stellar match for 2 outsides that were playing well, but not the major leaders during event 1. For them to come out, that was what they're going to need to do. Piotr Namiotko, we saw him kind of up and down in terms of overall production, but again, it's sometimes one of those unfair stories that they were setting him a lot of balls with no better option.
Right.
And so it was just sometimes the nature of the beast of being a right side attacker is you're just in unwinnable situations.
And you're the one that has to clean up the non-perfect sets as well.
Yeah, so, I don't think that Piotr really had a bad match there either. I think he was really an integral part.
Yeah.
And they had to keep setting him, because if they stop setting him, everything else folds.
Yep.
But you got to celebrate the big win. Man of the match with Noah Chast. Noah, take it away.
Thank you, Nick.
1 second. We're having a slight technical challenge. We'll get it over, and there it is.
All right.
Take it away, gents.
We're here with the man of the match, Austin Matatia. Austin, an all-around solid game. 7 kills, 3 blocks, 3 aces, and you fought off a tough Founders team. What felt good about this win?
I think this win to us was pretty big, just because this is our 3rd time playing together, and you could see it's a little rough around the edges, but we just know if we just continue to grind it out, we're going to find that connection with whether it's with our setter or our passing line, defense, blocking next to each other. We just know it's a grind, and if we continue to do what we're doing, we're going to get better every time.
Tell me about the production from your 2 middles, who this is their first event of the season coming in. How did they perform?
Oh yeah, I mean, our middles are freaking good. Yeah, we block balls, hit balls, serve balls. They do what they're supposed to, and makes our job a lot easier. So shout out to them. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks for keeping it PG for me. Austin Matatia, our man of the match in the Tyrants win, guys.
Oh, that's a great takeaway. Keeping it PG. Well, the Tyrants definitely delivering the performance that we all expected.
Yeah.
I have to say, though, again, props to the Founders. Put up far more of a fight than I think any of us expected. That was one of the best teams that they just took, really to extra innings repeatedly. So, again, Philadelphia fans, you've got a brand new team in the NVA that we always talk about how hard it is to show up and really get acclimated. That was a heck of a performance, but that's going to do it for us. This is Matt Prosser. I'm Nick England. Up next, me as I head to the sideline to coach the final match of the night, San Diego Wild as they take on Las Vegas Ramblers, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard. We'll see you there.